Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah wa alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wa sallam. Welcome guys. Today I'm going to be showing you why you have three beings in the doctrine of the Trinity. And the people that are saying you don't have three beings, they don't actually understand what they are talking about. Okay? And I'll show you how in the strict sense there are three beings. And by the way, during the Council of Nicaea, which was against the Arian camp, the Arius, the guy he was thinking about essence in a very strict sense, such that no two different beings, no two different persons can share the same essence in a strict sense, meaning they will have their own different essence fully, and there will be two different beings at least, and we'll show you what it means. Okay. Now, when I told you, if I tell you this, a human, a bird, and a fish, you understand that there are three different beings. There are three different beings, right? Because this one has human nature, this one has bird nature, this one has fish nature, right? You will not say there's one being, okay? There are three different beings, right? Now, let's not take a bird. We take an eagle, a falcon, and a vulture. These three birds, they have the same bird nature. However, they are not the same being. The eagle is not the falcon, and the falcon is not the vulture. They are still in another class. That means there will be some falcon nature that the eagle does not have, and the vulture nature that the falcon does not have. So we will say that there are three different birds here, okay? And here we'll say there are three different beings in the broader sense. Here, when we even go into the bird nature, the bird we just said now, we'll still find out that there are three different beings, okay? Now, if we now take an eagle, okay? Eagle 1, eagle 2, eagle 3, okay? These three eagles now, they have different nature also, meaning each one of them is eagle fully. By the way, there are different types of eagle. There are some eagles that are like the fish, this American eagle. There's golden eagle. There's different type of eagle. They are still eagle, but they are different beings because they have differed. This one is maybe this one is a golden eagle. This one is this rock eagle or something. Whatever, they've differed. So therefore, there are three different eagles and there are three different beings. Okay, now. If we now get it closer again, let's say this golden eagle has two chicks, chick A and chick B. These two chicks that it has, they have differed from the eagle one also. Therefore, there are also three beings. So what it boils down to is that to be a being is to have a particular nature fully and your own identity. Okay? Once you have your own identity and you have your own nature fully, you are a being. That's what the Arians were talking about. If you have differed in any way, shape, or form, just like this eagle one has differed from the chick A. If they don't differ, they are just the same. Then there's no chick. But they have differed. That means this chick A has its own identity. Therefore, you cannot be eagle one. Okay? They can be very much more related. If you see now, let me now show you. Eagle one and these two chicks, they are much more related than the three eagles here. They are much more related than these three eagles are much more related than the eagle, falcon, and vulture. This eagle, falcon, and vulture are more related than the human, bird, and fish category. What I'm trying to show you here is that in every place, it's just the difference become more. But in the real sense, in the strict sense, no two beings can differ, and then they will still be called one being. Okay. They can have similar nature. So when they use the language of homoousios, same substance. Here, when you say you have the same essence, it just means that they have the essence of, is it the essence of bird you are talking about? Is it the essence of eagle? Or is it the essence of eagle one? Any which one, you will never have one. You will never have one being. You will have three beings. Now, let me give you a good example. The one that you are much more familiar with. Humans, okay? Let's say there's something called H, human nature, okay? Human nature. Now, Peter, James, and Bob. Peter has that human nature. James has that human nature. Bob has that human nature. Okay. However, Peter has something else. Peter has his own P identity, PI. He has his own identity of being Peter. And then James has his own identity of being James, JI. And Bob has his own identity, BI. So it's not just human nature that they have. They also have something else that distinguishes them from other people in that same category. Okay, if I was to compare Peter with a bird, I would just say Peter is human. He has that H. I don't even need to talk about his PI. I would just say he has H and the bird has B or something, bird nature. Peter does not have bird nature. Therefore, Peter is not the bird. If I'm talking about the human category, I still need to distinguish between two different beings, which means that, let's say James and Bob, they are destroyed, annihilated. Would Peter still be human? Yes. He will have full humanity, human nature, and his own identity. Now, the same way in the doctrine of the Trinity, you have one Usia, you have one being, one divine nature. The Father has divine nature, the Son has divine nature, the Holy Spirit has divine nature. But the Father has differed from the Son because the Father has his own identity. For example, the Father is uncaused. That's one property which distinguishes the Father from anybody else. The Son is caused and the Holy Spirit is caused. That shows you that they will never be the same. They are not the same, which means that the Arians were right to say that there are three different beings there. When they see this, they'll say, what do you mean they are homoousios? Are you talking about in the general sense? Because the Arians, some of them thought that the Son is divine. They said the Son is divine, just not in the same identical sense as the Father. Because for you to, and if you watch my last argument where I was showing you what some of the Arians were saying, that see, the Father is unbegotten, the Son is begotten. That's enough difference for us to say this is one being and this is another being. Okay? This being has full divinity, fine. This one also has full divinity, fine. So them, they are showing you that there has to be different beings. If they are not different beings, then you are talking about something else. Okay? And that's why they rejected it. But if you can understand what I just showed you here, why is it that Peter, James, and Bob are three different human beings? I will tell you. Because they have full humanity, full human nature, in conjunction with their own personal identity. And that's exactly what the Christians are saying in the doctrine of the Trinity, that the Father has full divinity, is fully God. You hear that the Father is fully God, the Son is fully God, and the Holy Spirit is fully God. And in my next video, I'll show you another way, okay, of making this much more clearer. But I hope you get this. Look at this example that I've given you again. Make sure you understand this analogy, that in each case, there will never be a point where they will become one being. There will always be three beings. It will just be in a much more, they will just be, the difference between them will just be much more bigger. Okay, and that's why when I told you that, if, like for example now, Iguan caused chick A and chick B to exist, does that mean they become one being? No. That's why I told you that eternal procession, like, okay, the Father must, the Son and the Holy Spirit must proceed from the, from the Father for you to have monotheism. If you watch my other video, why I told you that, it doesn't make sense. I hope you learned something from this video. If there's anything that you think you object with, or if you need me to clarify on anything, put it in the comment section. So see you guys later. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.